Deputy Marc, this is the final question.
I'm grouped with question 96 here, or rather it's question 96 that I'm putting, which has quite a different emphasis from question 61 in the name of Deputy Paul Murphy. In my question I'm asking about the expansion to the free travel scheme which came to pass this July, whether it would be possible to include bike share schemes, either regular bikes or e-bike schemes within that free travel. I'll understand if the Minister's answer probably maybe goes in a different direction, and perhaps we'll tease out the individual issues afterwards.
Minister.
Thank you, Deputy, and thank you, Corla. And I'm taking questions 61 and 96 together. The free travel scheme provides free travel on the main public and private transport services for those eligible under the scheme, and there are over 1 million people with direct eligibility. The estimated expenditure on the free travel in 2024 is €104 million. The objective of the free travel scheme is to ensure older people and people with disabilities remain active within their community. Extending the eligibility of the free travel scheme to include children would change this objective and radically change the nature of the scheme. In Budget 2024, I expanded the free travel scheme to provide a free travel pass to people who are medically certified as not fit to drive. People qualifying under this expansion will have no requirement to be in receipt of a social welfare payment, but they must meet the other qualifying criteria. The implementation date for the measure is July 2024. As part of the budget, my colleague, the Minister for Education, announced a significant €92 million increase in funding for school transport services. And this is to provide for the additional demands for pupils with special education needs on school transport services and increased bus contractor running costs. This funding also allows for the continuation of the reduced school transport fees for the 2024-2025 school year, and this will continue to reduce the cost of sending children to schools and increase the number of pupils that will avail of the school transport service. In addition, I am aware that many operators have reduced fares for children, and in some cases children under 5 years of age can currently travel free of charge. Any further expansion of the free travel scheme proposed by the deputies and in excess of the measures announced in Budget 2024 would require additional funding for the free travel scheme and would have to be considered in the context of overall budgetary negotiations.
Thank you, Minister. Deputy Cathasaigh, we'll have to finish with this.
Deputy Murphy's question had quite a different thrust from my own. Mine was focusing in on, as I said, bike share schemes and e-bike schemes. I actually agree with the Minister's position in relation to the other question. That change in terms of eligibility, which will come into force in July, that was really welcome and was responding to some of the recommendations from the Joint Oireachtas Committee. And I know people within Epilepsy Ireland in particular are very, very grateful for that change. But just to, I suppose, explain why it is that I think this could be important and a very, very low-cost intervention is, for example, if you get off the 360 bus at Kilbarry in Waterford and you want to get across to SETU, it's quite a walk, but there's a bike share scheme right there. If you are precluded from driving, let's say, through epilepsy or whatever it is, well, that's a way that you could get from Tramore to your university place quite easily. Similarly, if you climb off the train in Houston, the Dublin bikes are right there. It's a bike share scheme that will give you options to get to exactly where you need to go, and I think for very, very low cost. I think this would cost buttons, Minister, and might benefit a relatively small number of people.
Thank you,
Deputy. But for that small number of people, it'll be deeply felt.
Deputy Gould, you have a brief supplementary.
Minister, I would ask you to seriously look at expanding the scheme in relation to free buses. We have incidents now in Cork where people in Glenville, Watergrass Hill, or Ballyvolane, because of the limited capacity of it. So it needs to be extended and more. Like, I know the Minister is looking at extending the scheme, but I would certainly say that it needs to be. Thank you.
Minister, if we could conclude on this matter now, please.
Thank you, Cancorla. And yeah, I have extended the scheme to those that are medically unfit to drive, so they'll get the free travel pass, and I think that was important. And I really do want to acknowledge the work of Epilepsy Ireland, because I spoke to them on a number of occasions, and they pointed out to me that people with epilepsy couldn't drive for over a year. For anybody that can't drive for more than a year, and they did a lot of work on that. And I met with them only last week on World Epilepsy Day, and and we're hoping to be inviting applications for the new scheme in May. And they were advocating for people with epilepsy, but I was delighted I was able to expand it further. In terms of the bike scheme, I don't know the cost of hiring a bike. You're right, Deputy, €3.
Subscription, but
yeah,
after that, mostly free.
Yeah, it's not a huge cost there. I don't know. I don't know how it would work out. But I'm always looking at things when it comes up to budgets, and I look at that, and I can discuss it further with you. And I'm certainly happy to look at how we can improve the lot for people with that can't drive. How we can improve the situation for them.